We also have with us Ambassador D.P. Srivastava, who is a distinguished fellow at the WIF and the former Indian ambassador to the Islamic Republic of Iran. He's joining us live from New Delhi. We also have Mr. Yusuf Jalali, who's joining us live from Tehran at this moment. Yusuf, let me in fact start off with you. Tell us what the situation is like in Tehran in the aftermath of these attacks that the Americans and the Israelis have carried out.
Of course, Iranians woke up to ear-splitting sounds of explosions across the capital, Tehran. Everyone came to this understanding that the war has begun finally after months or weeks. Everybody was expecting such a thing to take place finally. Everyone in Iran was ready for a conflict or an escalation. The results of the talks, as put by Susan, were clear. Multiple rounds of talks in the past 2 decades have been held between the two sides to no avail. The last one was back in 2015, which ended in fiasco a couple of months ago when the snapback sanctions were reinstated against Iran. So the results and the outcomes of these talks were also certain that they would hit a wall. So Iran for now is in a state of trying to, of course, retaliate. Iran has launched multiple salvos of missiles towards Israel, and it has been able to hit a radar system in Qatar, possessed by the United States. And of course, Bahrain has also come under an attack by Iranian missiles. But, okay.
Yusuf, tell us about the damage that has happened in Iran because of the Israeli and the American strikes. There are reports that the presidential palace was struck. Masoud Pezeshkian, we're given to understand, has managed to escape unscathed, but we've heard very little about Ayatollah Ali Khamenei. What has happened to that front? Is the Iranian media talking about these aspects?
Well, of course, the information from the Iranian media are really, really scarce. The Iranian media has been trying to project an image of resilience as opposed to trying to speak about the details of the damages the Islamic Republic has been sustaining as a result of those strikes. But right now, I'm just reading a very, very shocking report from Channel 12, the Israeli Channel 12, saying that Ali Khamenei, the Iranian supreme leader, has been injured by an attack. Of course, we do know that his office in downtown Tehran has come under an attack and has been flattened to the ground as a result of an Israeli attack. But now the Iranian media has said that the Iranian supreme leader is expected to deliver a speech, a televised speech. Either this report was made to project an image that the Iranians are resilient, or the supreme leader is unscathed as a result of those Israeli strikes, or wants to show that the supreme leader has indeed been safe out of those attacks. But right now, the Israelis are saying that he has sustained some injuries.
All right. Channel 12 is an Israeli media outlet. Yusuf, and also tell us, in the about 30 strikes which the Israelis and the Americans say that they targeted in Iran, what exactly has been hit? Is the Iranian government telling its people as to what has been hit in these American attacks?
Well, of course, the pattern of these strikes is very much similar to what we saw back in June last year. Usually, the strikes are concentrated on areas that host or house Iran's military installations, like Tehran's northeast, which houses Parchin facility, which is a very sprawling military complex where Iran's missile program lives, okay? So factories and production lines producing Iranian ballistic missiles exist there. And of course, there have been some reports that some of the residences of major Iranian politicians have also been a target of those attacks. The Parliament Speaker, Mohammad Bagher Ghalibaf, as you also mentioned, the residence of Masoud Pezeshkian, came under an attack. And of course, Justice Chief Mohsen Ejei were also among the attacks. But of course, right now, we cannot really just rely on statements or reports by Iranian state broadcasters. The Iranian state broadcaster is now saying that all of those politicians are safe and unscathed.
All right. Now, at this moment, there are reports that are coming in about the possibility of back-channel talks where the Iranian leaders are talking to leaders within the GCC. At this moment, is Iran looking for any kind of negotiations or some kind of a diplomatic off-ramp? Or what is the Iranian stand on how it intends to take this war forward?
Well, it's highly unlikely that Iran at this specific moment would return to the negotiating table. Any kind of talks, back-channel talks, we're not sure about them. We don't have insider information about the back-channel talks. But Iran has time and again said that it is not willing to talk under pressure, is not willing to talk while the sword is hanging overhead. And now this is a moment that Iran wants to show resilience and it wants to show strength.
Right.
And of course, it has time and again said that any strike, any aggression on its soil will be met with a harsh response. And now we're seeing that the Iranians are trying to hit the U.S. bases in Qatar, in Bahrain, and other regional countries. And of course, Israel has been also a legitimate target for the Iranian missiles.
Yusuf, do continue to stay on with us. Let me bring in Ambassador Srivastava, who's been waiting so patiently with us. Ambassador Srivastava, this is a big moment in West Asia, is it not, that could change the very direction in which this region could in fact head out. The fact that the Americans have carried out this attack, sparking this war, for the second time in the last 12 months at a time when negotiations were underway. In your assessment, has this effectively completely shut off the door for any kind of negotiations between Iran and the United States?